In today's video, I'm going to be showing you 5 easy ways to help save hours of your time with every single day with chickens, because obviously you don't want to be sitting out here for hours on end dealing with them, because chickens can be a handful. Let's start off with saving you time in the morning, because the morning is one of the most valuable times of the day, at least in my opinion. I like to utilize my mornings, and obviously I don't want to be spending time out of my morning opening up the chicken coop door. It doesn't save a lot of time, but it can actually help you. If you wake up early to let out your chickens, then you probably want to invest in an automatic chicken coop door. See, prior to this, we have an issue with having a lot of things to do before we let out our chickens. So we had to invest in an automatic door, because I don't want my chickens sitting in the coop every single morning. This is especially important for chickens because you do not want them sitting in their coop, wasting all that time just sitting there waiting to be let out. So this automatic door is going to save you just a little bit of time in the morning and in the evening, so you don't have to open and close the door for them. But I'd still recommend going in there at night, but it's really a lifesaver if you don't want to wake up early in the morning to give your chickens maximum amount of time outside. Now let's move on to another one that might be a little bit more disgusting, but it works. You see how there's a chicken up there on top of that roosting barn? See how there's tarps below that? You can probably guess what those tarps are used to collect. It's quite obvious. It's used for collecting chicken crap, especially considering overnight they're going to be sitting up there. They have no control over that sort of stuff. So the chickens right there, it's just going to save a lot of your time. This is essential for keeping your coop clean because it prevents a lot of stuff from being on the ground. So basically all that you have to do is just tip that over and it'll fall onto the ground, instead of having to like scoop shavings that are really badly shaped and all that sort of stuff. So in total, I'm going to show you just how much time this actually saves right now. So I know my explanation is not that good. So that ATV over there is what we use to haul the chicken crap out of this chicken coop right here. That's what we used to clean the coops. In total, before we installed that, it would take us about 40 minutes to clean this coop, including the time to take the ATV. Now, including that time, it's around 8 to 12 minutes. So it is significantly less time out of our day that we use to clean the chicken coop. It's really a lifesaver, especially if you're one that wants to keep your chicken coop as clean as possible. Another way that you can easily save time is also located in this chicken coop, but this time it's actually a whole lot more straightforward and simple to make. And it's quite a simple DIY project. Just let me get this big rooster out of the way. If we go here to the back, ignore the dog crate there, that's for broody chickens. But if you look right there, this right here is actually a feed bucket. Now you might be wondering, what is this feed bucket used for? Well, obviously for soil feed. Sorry, it's not the greatest, it's 7 p.m. right now. But either way though, this right here, the chickens can eat out of this, and importantly, it's not going to take a while. So not every morning do I have to just scoop out of like a trash bin and put it into the feed bucket. They don't even need a feed bucket. All they need is just that. It's gonna put their coop together pretty nicely, and in total it takes like 40 minutes to make. That's assuming you know limited about this sort of stuff. If you know a lot DIY projects, then this should probably take you no more than 10 minutes. All that you need is a trash bin, some PVC pipes, and some chicken feed. That's all that you're really gonna need for this. And it's quite a simple build. It doesn't take you a long time. And it's really, really convenient, because I am the one that likes to cut corners when doing the chickens in the morning, because, you know, it's like 6 a.m. I have to go to school soon. I don't want to be wasting all that time. So with this flock, it's so convenient. Now this fourth one is really applicable to the time of year and your location. So if you're living, I don't know, Florida, and it's like August, this is definitely not going to work. But if you're like me and live in the miserable state of Connecticut and it's the winter, then this is going to come in really handy. So right here, this is a heating pad for this water. It's going to keep it unfrozen throughout the duration of the day. Now this past winter, we genuinely went the entire month of February without the temperature raising above 35 degrees here, and it was cold and snowy and icy for the whole month. Those things were really, really useful for that in specific. You want to know why? Because I don't want to take time out of my day to remove this and go in here and potentially break the thing trying to remove the lid while I'm refilling the water the night before, because I like doing that conveniently the night before. It's really annoying, and it really does save a lot out here. It saves me money in specific. This is less of a time saver and more of a money saver, because I'm not trying to drop a whopping $7 on another waterer at Tractor Supply the next morning. And finally, we got a method, and this method is called do it the night before. Now here are some things that you should do the night before to ensure that you save some time with your chickens. So you should refill their water the night before, so that way the next morning you can go out there and just bring the water out to the yard, rather than having to take the water out, fill it up in the morning, And especially in the morning, I notice I'm not really as fast at filling up waters in the morning as I would be at filling it up at, say, 6, 7, 8 p.m. So that's why I'm always going to do it the night before. That's a really big lifesaver, in my opinion. It's gonna really save some time, and I'd recommend checking it out if you haven't already. And also, if you took my advice from earlier and don't have a feeder, then you don't necessarily need to refill it the night before. But if you didn't take my advice and still have a classical feeder, like what we have in this coop right here, you don't really have to fill it up the night before. I mean, you can, but it's more convenient to do it in the morning. It doesn't take that much longer. But here in the center of the screen, there's a whole playlist of videos that are gonna make your chicken raising experience so much easier. You could check it out. It's a lot of videos, but I bet you're gonna find one that answers one of your problems.